everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm filming my top favourites of 2016. This is a pretty big title to have, you are my favourite products. My favourite products of the entire year. Kim just sent me a massively irritating text and we're just going to ignore it. Yeah, I'm going to talk you through the products that have won me over this year that I really love. Okay, so I have loads of products here. I'm going to start with a boring one, but this has been a humongous favourite this year. This is the Dove Maximum Protection Scientifically Proven Wetness Protection Deodorant in pomegranate and lemon. This deodorant has been my holy grail all year. I've talked about this before in favourites videos. I'm a very sweaty person. I just always have been. I used to be super self-conscious about it when I was younger, but like it happened. But when I started using this, I honestly, I wouldn't lie to you, I have noticed such an improvement with how sweaty I get under my arms. I know this is gross, but honestly this has been like a life-changing deodorant for me. So if you're self-conscious about being sweaty, try this and let me know what you think. The next favourite this year is a fragrance that I don't think I've ever actually spoken about on my channel, and it's quite a funny one. This is actually Aphrodisiac from Ann Summers. I remember I bought this last Valentine's Day, I believe. It was like a few days before Valentine's Day and I wanted like a really sexy perfume, and this smells so good. This smell, you know when you just have a smell that takes you back to like a time? This smell reminds me of when Tim and me first got together. Really good. It's empty. I wore this like as my everyday perfume. It's quite lightweight, so I wore it more like a body mist. And it just smells really good and smells really sexy, and I definitely recommend getting it if you want to try something not crazy expensive that smells really nice. So I've worn this so much this year, but whenever people ask me what I'm wearing, I'm kind of a bit like hesitant to say it. I'm like, it's called Aphrodisiac. The next product that I have been loving this year are actually a pair of false lashes, which will be absolutely no surprise to you, but these are the Ardell Wispies. These are my all-time favourite false lashes. They are really lightweight, so comfortable, and they just look full and fluttery and flirty, but they don't look heavy and overdone. And I have naturally quite long eyelashes. My lashes don't look very impressive in today's video. I don't know why my lashes look so like weak today. I don't know what I did differently, but bump up any look and just make you look instantly more glam, and they are so pretty. So definitely my favourite lashes of the year. Okay, on to my favourite base products of the year. This is probably the hardest thing for me to cut down because I love foundations, I love base products, so this is tricky for me. My favourite base or primer this year has actually been the L'Oreal Lumi Magique priming base. This is a really affordable kind of alternatives to something like the Becca Shimmery Skin Perfector. It's just like an iridescent primer that makes your skin feel super soft, really smooth, and just helps your skin to glow under a foundation, because I like to powder my face and wear quite a matte foundation, but I like to have a bit of a glow still, so this helps to keep some life and some dimension to your face even when you powder. And then this was probably the hardest one for me to cut down. It's my favourite foundation of the year, because if you know me, you know how I feel about my foundation. I just flirt with all the foundations. I have so many that I just change between, but I'm gonna have to say that my favourite for this year has been my Too Faced Born This Way foundation. I stopped using it in the middle of the year and I've recently gone back to it, and I've remembered how much I loved it. It's a medium buildable coverage. It is a semi-matte finish, good for every day. You could sheer it out or you can build it up for a nighttime look. You know, it's just a really versatile, easy to throw on foundation. The shade match is really good for me. I don't have to mix this with anything, which I find extremely frustrating. It's just a beautiful foundation that sits really well, doesn't go weird on my nose. I'm literally out of breath. I've been talking solidly for like 20 minutes. So I just really recommend this. I love this foundation, so I'm gonna have to say it's my favourite this year. For concealers, I couldn't choose between these two. They're at very different price points, but they are semi-similar products. So the two concealers I've chosen are the Bourjois Radiance Reveal Concealer and the Tarte Rainforest Sea Aqua Concealer. They are both lightweight, hydrating, brightening concealers. They both do very similar things. The Tarte one definitely has more coverage and a longer staying power. It does last longer on my skin, and it's also a lighter shade, but I actually prefer the finish of the Radiance Reveal from Bourjois. This is in Ivory, and it sits so nicely and blends so seamlessly. Like, I've never tried a concealer as affordable as this that blends and brightens as nicely as this one. It's a beautiful concealer, so I definitely recommend both, one or the other. I mix them together sometimes. Great concealers, both of them. My next favourite of the year are two powders, which will be no surprise to you whatsoever. The first one is my MAC Studio Fix powder. I've used this every day for years. This is the shade C3. Brilliant, full coverage powder, adds any coverage that you need, mattifies everything. Your foundation is going to stay on all day with this stuff. It's just really great, and I really recommend it, and it's not going anywhere. But a powder that was new to me this year was my Laura Mercier Translucent Setting Powder. I didn't give in to the hype for such a long time. I thought my plant was on fire then. I'm burning my new candle and it smells so good. Everybody talked about this and I was just a little bit skeptical. I was like, can it really be as amazing as everybody says? I really like this. It works really well as a setting powder. It's really finely milled, super lightweight, just looks really flawless on my skin, and I really like it. Speaking of under eye highlighters and setting powders, I have loved my Christmas present from last year from Tim. This is the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit, and I've been loving Diffused Light, which is this light yellow shade here. It's a beautifully fine, light, highlighting, brightening powder basically. I'm wearing it as my under eye highlight today. It's just a really nice finish. It isn't shimmery and glittery, but then it isn't matte. It just helps your skin glow, and it just looks so pretty. If you could see the dent in this, I use them a lot. Speaking of highlight, I'm gonna have to say my favourite highlight of this year, I think, is gonna have to be my Sleek Solstice palette. I feel like everyone's gonna say this. I think for the price, this is definitely one of your best bets. If you haven't tried this yet, get on that. It's a crazy intense, uber pigmented palette of gorgeous highlighting shades, and it's really inexpensive. It shines bright like a diamond, and I just think you need to try this if you haven't yet. I think my favourite blush for this year is from Tarte, and this is an oldie but a goodie. Everybody used to rave about this product, and I couldn't get my hands on Tarte because I live in the UK and it's quite tricky to get your hands on. I was kindly sent these by Tarte. This is the Amazonian Clay 12-Hour Blush in the shade Exposed. I think everybody has heard of this blush. Everyone used to talk about this on YouTube in the earlier days, and I'm so glad I finally have it, because this has become easily my everyday blush. I wear this all the time. It goes with every makeup look. You can never really go crazy with it. You just throw it on in the dark and you'll just look flushed and natural and nothing scary, because it's a brownie toned pinky mauve, so it's never gonna look crazy like a bright pink, bright red blush. It's just super natural, super wearable, lasts all day, blah 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 blah. Favourite blush this year. My favourite brush this year is gonna have to be my NARS Eater brush. This thing has got me through 2016 like a champ. I love contouring, as you guys know. I always have a very strong contour. It's just the look I go for. So you love it or you hate it. I love it. So this brush has been perfect just to fit right in the hollow, buff it up. Everyone asks me how I do my contour. It's this. It does all the work for you. It's a great contour brush, and it also works perfectly for contouring your nose. To contour, my favourite bronzer, I think, was the same last year. I have not swayed away from my Bobbi Brown natural bronzer. This has been beaten up, it has been well loved, well used, I've hit pan. I can rarely think of a day where I haven't used this. It is my go-to, my ride or die. It's a red toned bronzer. It looks amazing when I'm tan, it looks amazing when I'm pale. It just works for me. It's such a nice bronzer. I honestly recommend this so much if you like a natural looking red toned bronzer, which is very much buildable. Of course this is going to be in my favourites, of course. My favourite eyebrow product this year will have had to be my Tarte Amazonian Clay Brow Mousse in taupe. As you can see, it's nearly all gone. It's very light on me, but I like to use a light shade to shape out my brows, make sure I'm comfortable and confident with the shape, and then go in with a dark powder on top to set it all into place. This stuff is bulletproof. I've been through hell and back with eyebrows. I've swum with eyebrows and they have stayed on. This stuff is so good if you need something that's going to last all day, if there's fluff on my face. So it has to be in my favourites for this year. For eyeshadows this year, the first thing I'm going to talk about is my Too Faced Semi-Sweet Chocolate Bar palette. The beginning of this year, probably up until about August, this was like all I was using. It's a really great palette. I honestly think that if you are just starting out with makeup, or if you're a makeup enthusiast, or basically anyone would love this palette. It's got beautiful warm tone shades, a couple of, you know, more out there colours like the blue, black, like a really good matte black. Cool. Nothing broke. Yes. This is great for a cheek highlight. This is great for an under eye highlight. This is great for a nose contour. It's a really great palette filled with mattes and shimmers and glitters. So you get a massive mixture of loads of different textures in here. So this was my travelling palette that I used all the time. Unfortunately the packaging broke, so I can't take it away with me anymore. This served me so well this year. My other favourite eyeshadows have to be my Makeup Geek shadows. Now these came to me later in the year, they came to me in the summer. A few of my favourite colours are gonna have to be Tiki Hut, which is a beautiful kind of mustard camel brown, Chickadee, which is a light orange, Creme Brulee, which is just a nice light neutral brown shade, which is really easy to go in your crease. Espresso, because it's just a really good dark brown. Shimmer Shimmer, a beautiful, beautiful inner corner highlight. There are just so many amazing colours here, and the formulation of Makeup Geek eyeshadows have not failed to impress me at all this year, so they definitely deserve a shout out. The next product won't be a shock to you. My favourite liner or liquid liner of the year is gonna have to be my Kat Von D tattoo liner in the shade Trooper. I stopped wearing winged liner because it just took me so long and I didn't have time, especially when I was working. I just didn't have the time in the morning to perfect my wing, and I was so tired all the time I would have rather had 5 minutes extra in bed, to be honest with you. So when I discovered this, my life became so much easier. This is the easiest tool to use ever. It's perfect for winged liner. It's super thin, super flexible, and the colour payoff is really nice and dark. This is such a great black liner. If you haven't tried it, it's linked down below. All the products I'm talking about are linked down below for you. But this stuff is so good. Again, this is absolutely no shock to you. My favourite mascara of 2016 has to have been my Maybelline Lash Sensational Mascara. This has been in nearly every video I have talked about. Really great for thickening, lengthening, volume, keeps a curl. My lashes just look enormous when I use this. It lasts all day, looks amazing, and is just my ride or die. I love this stuff so much. I have got 2 lip products that I'm going to talk about as my favourites for this year, which again was really hard. Trying to choose out of your babies is very tricky, but I've managed to do it. The first one is again going to be like old news to you. This is Kat Von D's Bow and Arrow liquid lipstick. It is a beautiful mauvey brown toned nude, and this is my perfect nude. I've worn this time and time again. I think I'm actually starting to run low on this, which I don't remember the last time I finished a lipstick, especially a liquid lipstick. I've worn this in countless tutorials, countless videos. I'm not going to bore you. You know I love this colour. My other favourite, again, was a late bloomer. I think I got this in October, which I know isn't really fair to put in a yearly favourite, but it's been my everyday colour since I got it. I've honestly worn this every single day. This is my NARS Velvet Lip Glide in the shade Bound. I love this product so much. It is the perfect nude. What? It is the perfect rosy nude. It starts like a balmy gloss and then dries like a stain lipstick. It's the perfect formulation. It smells really nice. It's really light. It's moisturising. It's just everything I want and more in a lipstick. Definitely a favourite for me this year. It's amazing and you have to try these products. They're so lovely. And then finally, my last favourite of this year has to be my Smashbox Photo Finish priming water. I've used the hell out of this. I use it on clients, I use it on myself, just because it's really sanitary. You can prime someone's skin in a few seconds and set it in a few seconds, and it just cuts your time. You don't have to worry about faffing with primers. It's quick, it's easy, it makes your skin look amazing, helps to set your foundation, stops the powders from sticking up and looking gross, smells nice, and is a really nice product to use. I love this stuff, so it definitely has to be a favourite for this year. So those are all of my favourite makeup favourites for 2016. I can't believe it's the end of 2016. I hope 2017 is a fun-filled and exciting year. I'm excited to see what happens this year, see what's going down. Let me know what your favourite product of this year has been in a comment down below. I'd love to see, and maybe I can try some of them out if I haven't yet. I hope you have the best day ever, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Goodbye!